Mm-hmm. Correct. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Do you have any question about the topics that we completed? Means the base of AVD environment. Any question? All good? So, mm-hmm. Great. Okay, so to set up our AVD, we successfully completed the prerequisites, right? We completed the part of prerequisite in the sense what are the services that require to set up our Azure Virtual Desktop. So जिसमें हमने already discuss कर लिया है about the VNet. You must need to create your VNet, and VNet should contain your server operating system. And in the server machine, we need to install the Active Directory domain services, because without domain service, right? Without domain service, we are unable to set up AVD host. This is the important point that we need to keep in mind. Is that fine? Domain controller required to set up our Azure Virtual Desktop, and it is mandatory for us, right? Okay, great. So I'm going to proceed with the same task, because we have already established our AVD environment. So let me open our Azure portal and show you the services that we have already created. I think we need to install the Active Directory domain services again, because the domain that we install, which is associated with different domain name, the GoDaddy domain name, so we need to establish again. I have created the VNet, and I also created a one virtual machine with server 2016. Everything is okay. Everything is working fine. Our responsibility to we just need to configure the domain controller and then proceed to set up our AVD host pool. So virtual machine that we created, which is a part of our AVD VNet, and the virtual machine contains the IP address of 192.168.1.4. And you know that, as we discussed, if you want to set up your AVD environment, first of all, our responsibility to set up a Azure VNet, I think, and Azure VNet must be connected with. Allow me 1 minute. 1 minute, please. Now, fine. Are you able to see my screen? Fine. So these all are the prerequisites. Just let me know about the prerequisite to set up our AVD host pool. First of all, we need to create our VNet, and VNet should connect it with one virtual machine, and virtual machine must be contain the server operating system, because we need to install the Active Directory domain services over a server operating system. Is that clear? Now, we have already created one virtual machine with server 2016, and we'll install the Active Directory services on the same server 2016 operating system. Once we install the AD, we'll synchronize the users from our on-premises AD, means the Active Directory AD, and we'll synchronize the same Active Directory to the Microsoft Intra ID. Microsoft Intra ID, and then synchronize the user. And after that, we'll find the AVD host code. We'll set up the AVD host code. This is our agenda. We good with the VNet. We good with the virtual machine, and our responsibility to synchronize the user. I think correct. Install AD, create user, and synchronize with our Azure Active Directory, or you can say that Microsoft Intra ID. Now, back to the portal, and in the portal's properties, select Ethernet card of our virtual machine that we created, because we are trying to set up our DNS. Without DNS, you are unable to install any kind of directory services, AD services. So open Ethernet adapter. Under the Ethernet adapter, it will provide us option now to configure DNS address, which is 192.168.1.4. We need to provide and configure manual IP address in the properties of our DNS. I don't want to proceed with inherit. I wanted to configure manual 192.168.1.4, and the another IP address, alternate IP address 8.8.8. Save the configuration. Okay, give me a minute. Let me check. Correct, correct, correct. The IP address that we configure in the properties of our VNet. Fine. So we successfully configure and save the setting. We have already saved it. Second step, open Azure VNet. Now, now it's fine. Okay, so some latency because I'm on the properties of our virtual machine. Oh, sure. I can hear you. Yes. I can hear you. Okay, DNS server IP address, right? Correct. Yeah, the virtual machine that will use to install the Active Directory services. The same virtual machine will use to install AD services. Okay. So second step, I'm going to open virtual network. This is the virtual network properties. Are you able to see the virtual network properties? It's opening. Okay. And the number of virtual network that we have created. Oh, great. VPN VNet. Okay, fine. So I'm going to use the VPN VNet and configure the preferred DNS IP address. Open the properties of VPN VNet, and in the properties of VPN VNet, we need to configure DNS. So this is the DNS server icon. You need to click on the DNS option, and in the DNS, you need to provide the same IP address of our virtual machine 192.168.1.4, correct? And the preferred DNS is right, and alternative 8.8.8. Save the configuration. That's it. Fine. So we successfully saved the configuration. Now it's time to take the RDP of our virtual machine. So let me connect our virtual machine's RDP, and we'll install the Active Directory domain services. Fine. Yeah, it's connecting. Actually, I don't know what happened. I'm unable to connect with my 5G. I'm unable to find the 5G icon of my Wi-Fi connection in society. I created a two band of a Wi-Fi, so but it is connected with only the 2.5G. Can you please allow me 2 minutes? I need to restart it and check it again. Otherwise, it will take time to ये blur का कोई फायदा नहीं. Just allow me 2 minutes. I'll join in again. Yeah, thank you. Hi, Venkat. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello. Hi, can you hear me? Is it working fine? Okay, so let me connect our virtual machine. Okay. So this is our server computer that we created, and we'll use the same machine to set up our Active Directory domain services, right? So ADD is responsible to manage our AVD host pool without Active Directory. It may be Azure AD, it may be Azure AD PaaS services, or you can configure the Active Directory services using server operating system. So what I'm going to do, let me add a role and features because we are responsible to install the Active Directory domain services. Install the role of ADDS 192.168.1.4. Select ADDS Active Directory Domain Services. Add features. Next, 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 and install. Right? The method that help us to set up our Active Directory Domain Services. So installing of Active Directory Domain Services, firstly we need to install the role, and after that we'll promote the role. Okay. So meanwhile, let me verify the domain that I have already added with our system. So to check the domain, we need to open Intra ID, Microsoft Intra ID to identify the number of domains that you associated. In our case, we established a domain with name of I think cloudsupport.co.in, right? In previous class, we added a domain. We discussed about the domain like as the cloud support.co.in, and we need to use the same domain to install. We need to use the same domain name to install the ADDS service in Server 2016. Promote this domain controller. This is first domain, so that's why we just need to provide cloud support .co.in. This is the domain name, correct? Cloud support.co.in. Next. DSRM. What is DSRM password? Any idea about the DSRM password? What is use of DSRM? Like directory services restored mode. Why we need to set up? Directory services restore mode can help you to recover our AD from the system state backup. Actually, if you want to protect your server operating system, we have three different types of backup: full backup, and system state backup, and bare metal backup. Correct? So, in case of system state backup, it will help you to protect the active directory services. For example, you created multiple users and some users unfortunately accidentally deleted. And if you have already created the system state backup, so we can recover back. और जब आप हाँ DSRM एक मोड है. DSRM is a type of mode. Safe mode पता है आपको? Have you idea about safe mode? सेफ मोड सिस्टम को ऑन करते हैं F8 नहीं सेफ मोड F8 से ऑन करते हैं. और सेफ मोड में जब आप अपने सिस्टम को ऑन करते हो ना, विच इज कंसिडर्ड एज ए क्लीन बूट. सेफ मोड को ही हम क्लीन बूट के नाम से जानते हैं. द मीनिंग ऑफ क्लीन बूट, टेक्निकली यू कैन से दैट द मीनिंग ऑफ क्लीन बूट, इट विल हेल्प यू टू लॉग इन योर मशीन विदाउट थर्ड पार्टी सॉफ्टवेयर. जैसे आपने अपने सिस्टम में बहुत सारे एप्लीकेशन इंस्टॉल कर रखे हैं थर्ड पार्टी, गूगल क्रोम, वीएलसी मीडिया प्लेयर, प्रिंटर का ड्राइवर, साउंड का ड्राइवर, नेटवर्क का ड्राइवर. सो बहुत सारे थर्ड पार्टी एप्लीकेशन और ड्राइवर जब आपके सिस्टम पे इंस्टॉल होते हैं, सो डेफिनेटली हमारे सिस्टम को, प्रोसेसर को बहुत सारा टास्क परफॉर्म करना पड़ता है, राइट? जब आपका सिस्टम स्लो होता है, जब आपका सिस्टम BSOD देता है, तो उस केस में डायग्नोज के लिए, टेस्टिंग पर्पज के लिए हम क्या करते हैं, मशीन को क्लीन बूट चलाते हैं. और क्लीन बूट में क्या होता है, आइडेंटिफाई हो जाता है कि ये जो प्रॉब्लम आ रही है सिस्टम स्लो परफॉर्मेंस की, ये जो इश्यूज आ रहे हैं सिस्टम स्लो परफॉर्मेंस के, ये बेसिकली थर्ड पार्टी एप्लीकेशन के थ्रू हो रहे हैं. तो DSRM भी एक तरीके का मोड है. जैसे आप सेफ मोड ऑन करते हैं, एज इट इज DSRM भी एक मोड है जो कि रीस्टोर पर्पज के लिए डिजाइन किया गया है. रीस्टोर पर्पज के लिए हमारे माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ने हमें ये कॉम्प्लीमेंट प्रोवाइड कर रखा है. इज दैट ओके? नहीं, just wanted ना, no, which is not related to the Azure subscription. इसका Azure subscription से कोई मतलब नहीं है. The DSRM service which is applicable are feature of our server operating system. ये हमारे सर्वर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम का फीचर है, और ये जो फैसिलिटी है ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ सर्वर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम के लिए एप्लीकेबल बनाई गई है. क्लियर? इसका कोई भी ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम से कोई मतलब नहीं है, सॉरी कोई भी सब्सक्रिप्शन से कोई मतलब नहीं है इसका. इज दैट ओके? Fine. So in the custom domain, I have already added our cloudsupport.co.in. पहला ही डोमेन हमने यहाँ पे कॉन्फ़िगर कर रखा है और ये वेरीफाइड भी है. सो इट मीन्स दैट आप इसी डोमेन के जरिए आने वाले टाइम पे जब हम अभी सिंक्राइज करेंगे यूजर्स को, एडी हमारा जैसे ही रेडी होता है, हम अपने कुछ यूजर्स को सिंक्राइज करेंगे एज्योर एडी पोर्टल के थ्रू, ताकि हम अपने उसी यूजर के जरिए एज्योर वर्चुअल डेस्कटॉप का होस्ट पूल रन कर सकें. This is the final step. Let me proceed and install. Now इंट्रा आईडी, नो, इंट्रा आईडी में वी नीड टू क्लिक ऑन सिक्योरिटी में कस्टम डोमेन नेम्स में. It is in progress. Once our domain is ready to use, almost ready, let me proceed and install. और उसके बाद सिस्टम हमारा रीस्टार्ट होगा, so it will take time. Meanwhile AD पे चलते हैं और देखते हैं कितने नंबर ऑफ यूजर्स बना रखे हैं हमने अभी. नहीं, वो पुराना हमने डिलीट कर दिया है, तो वी नीड टू सिंक्रोनाइज इट अगेन. वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिलीटेड. हाँ, फ्रेश तरीके से फिर से कर रहे हैं हम. कहाँ पे? हाँ एग्जैक्टली, जो ADDS सर्वर में हम यूजर्स तैयार करेंगे वो सेम यूजर यहाँ पे सिंक्रोनाइज होने चाहिए. यस. Exactly. Firstly, we need to create a user on ADDS, Azure Active Directory Domain Services, and after that we'll synchronize the same user. उन सभी users को हम यहाँ पे synchronize करने का काम करेंगे. Now it is almost the installation completed. The server operating system successfully installed the ADDS. Definitely system हमारा restart होगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. And जब तक हमारा system restart होता है, let me give you some details about the prerequisite. Prerequisite in the sense कि अब हम यहाँ पे क्या करने वाले हैं, according to the agenda, according to the prerequisite, हमारा जो next topic है, हम अपने users को जो AD में users तैयार करेंगे will synchronize the same users to Azure Active Directory Services. Azure Microsoft Intra ID से हम उन्हीं users को क्या करेंगे, कनेक्ट करने का काम करेंगे, सिंक्रोनाइज करने का काम करेंगे. Virtual machine is ready to use, so we'll take RDP again, क्योंकि थोड़ा सा टाइम लगेगा RDP तैयार होने में. इसमें रीस्टार्ट हुआ है सिस्टम, तो RDP अगेन आने में थोड़ा सा टाइम लग सकता है. हाँ हाँ, ठीक है ठीक है, आई एम फाइन विद दैट. चलो ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है. जस्ट गिव मी 1 minute. लेट मी मेक यू प्रेजेंटर फर्स्ट. I need to make you presenter, then you are able to share it. Right. Now, can you please share